I'm just kind of passing some time here. Let me put this up for blocking some sunshine. Maybe not possible. Everything's possible. Hold on. There we are. Okay. Well, today's update, Tuesday. I got an email and FedEx said, oh, it'll be here by noon. And then I subscribed up to their notification list. And then it said an hour later, oh, it'll be there at the end of the day. I'm like, oh, okay. And then about another hour later, it said, won't arrive till tomorrow. What does do a barrel roll mean? It's a little warm, maybe just 90 or something. One of my windows doesn't go down, so I can't get all the cross flow ventilation I want. It's your entrance. It's my entrance. Oh, okay. That's a nice entrance. Should have bought a razor so I could shave today, but I didn't. I drove around town a little bit with my radiator cap on the first click, not the second click, and no overheating. The car did well. I bought a can of $14 can of Magic. It was like engine restore, higher compression, lubricates things. I'm more interested in the high compression. When I started my car this morning, even on full gas, it wouldn't go past 1,500 RPMs. Like, it must have low compression really bad. Because when it heats up, then the revs can increase. I might have to rebuild this motor. I think some people put the 3-liter motor in this car, not the 3.5 liter. The 3.5 liter had a history of bending rods for some reason. I don't know why it bent rods. Maybe they used a different crank and the stroke was too much. I could see building a 3-liter motor with like a little horsepower, like 200 horsepower from 140, and then putting it in this car. This car is a couch. It's really a dream. And this color, that color works for me. It's so pretty. This beard is getting itchy. That's what I don't like about beards. Let me do a little spray here. Oh, that feels so good. We'll just leave that. There's really no news. From what I read, Hunter Biden is giving his dad advice. Hunter did go to law school, and it is his son. How is that different from having Jared Kushner in the White House? It isn't. I'm so burned out on politics because it's basically a rigged game. That's my summary of politics now. It's not like sporting events. It's a rigged sporting event. It's just theater. Oh no, Joe says Hunter's the smartest man he knows. I guess Joe Biden's got to get out more. He doesn't know enough people. He needs to step out besides Scranton, Ohio, where he came from, where people work harder, not smarter. It's like Scranton, Ohio, where we could get away with petty crime and nobody would notice. I wonder, you know what I would like a time machine for? I'd like to go 200 years into the future and then read what the history books wrote about this time in history. 2024. The guy, Judd, who's letting me stay here for $200. And I'm super grateful, by the way. I am grateful. And he just bought a pickup truck, an 86 Ford XLT 250 Lariat with a flatbed and a snow plow. And the snow plow is like $3,500, and he paid $3,500 for the whole truck. And he's going to be snow plowing people's driveways for money this year. I got a feeling I don't have any clue how bad it is. That's why my property is so cheap. They're like, he bought it in the summer, right? Oh, good for you. He doesn't know about the bad winters. I was milking a cow at 20 below zero when I was 15 years old. So I know what bitter cold is like. You just gotta dress for it. You know what? A quarter of the world lives in bitter cold. Russia, Finland, Norway, Sweden, Canada, Alaska. A lot of people, a lot of white people live in the cold. There were some black people, and they're like, what's up with white people? It's freezing ass cold outside, and they're out there in shorts. They're built different than us. You noticed? You noticed? Yeah, I'm most likely going to become a snowbird. You can get motorhomes for a few $1,000. Or maybe no motorhome. I just go down there and pitch a really nice tent for the winter. I think I would like to build a platform off the ground because of the snakes, but maybe a 10 by 10 tent, and then off the ground 2 feet with a railing. That's 14 foot. So a 14-foot platform, maybe some wind breaks, because the wind can be vicious sometimes. Man, I went to a sporting goods store, which is code word for gun store. I mean, they had everything, fishing and beep, 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 electric, what is it called? Metal detector. It was so fun, and they had these busts of elk on the wall. The elk are huge. Like an elk's head is 6 of my heads. They're huge. They're massive. They must stand 10, 12 feet tall. It makes me sad to think that people are killing these things for sport. Like, how the fuck would you ever get the elk home to eat it? You'd have to cut it up into 4 pieces and put it on your snowmobile. Like, it does make me a little mad when people just kill majestic animals like that for no reason. But you can't control the world, Wayne. You gotta let it go. Just focus on what you want. Like, literally, this is what I tell myself. Just focus on what I want to. Focus on your goals, Wayne. Anyways, the gun store was great. In California, all the ammo is behind the counter. Here, the ammo is on the aisle. like a jar of peanuts. You could just grab some ammo. 500 rounds of subsonic 22 ammunition is $100. I was looking for the Remington non-subsonic, just 22 bullets. Like they used to come in a milk carton, and that's what my dad used to give my brother and I. And he's like, "Have fun, don't shoot at the animals or the road." We had so much fun. I just want a 22 rifle for plinking. I don't even want a handgun. Although a handgun for plinking would be good, so you could get some good. You could hone your aim. If I was to get a pistol, I think the Remington, or not Remington, Ruger's got a nice 22 pistol with maybe a 5-inch or 6-inch barrel. I had a short barrel 380. It was like a shotgun. You had no idea where that bullet was going. There was no accuracy with that piece of shit. The barrel was 2 inches long. What a waste. I shot so much gun. I shot a lot of guns when I was a kid, maybe 30,000 rounds of ammo. And I could care less anymore. I mean, it's fun, but it doesn't drive me like it used to. I mean, it used to be me and a couple of my friends. Well, not a couple. Brad and I would go to the desert and go shooting bottles and cans, drinking beers. It was a hoot. I have a crossbow that's got some pulleys on it by Barrett. And I also have a compound bow. That is fun for me. Like when I move to the new place, I'm going to set up some hay bales, and that's fun because it's a real skill. It's physical. Like you got to hold the string back with your muscles. It's a neat skill. Also, I want to go fishing. I got a lot of stuff planned. 10 foot, okay. That's good to know, Bryson. When I went through Utah, there was a river. It was like through this big ass valley. Like this would be a 50-story building, just huge. And you drive through the valley. And there was a river, and there were some people in there fly fishing. Utah was beautiful. Yeah. You know those crazy looking people with colored hair and tattoos everywhere, including their face? They're up here too. I think that's the meth starter package. Comes with your own tattoo, ink, and needles, a small mirror, some hair dye, a mullet growing guide. Totally unhireable. That's what they're doing. They're like, I'm trying to get a job, but nobody will hire me. No regrets. You know, I love these young kids. I just feel sorry for them. They're doing the best they can without having parents who loved them. Getting approached by somebody. Yeah. He's got his fishing pole in his hand. It's weird. I'm on a street with people who might do things beyond the law. One house has had a lot of visitors, many different cars. Just one more day. fishing. Yeah, I want to catch a bunch of fish and freeze them and eat them. I swear to God, if deer tasted like beef, I would be all about deer hunting. But it doesn't. Bison does. There used to be a huge amount of bison. Okay, let's talk politics. I was reading some 4chan and they're trying to push Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom, if you don't know this, has a cocaine habit. We need to convince one of the members of the Senate or the House of Representatives to pass a no drugs in politics bill, and that politicians happily agree to this, and they also take a drug test once a week. And if they refuse to take the drug test, they are kicked out of Congress or the Senate. And we should also have drug testing for police officers. Anybody in law enforcement, if they're putting people in jail for drugs, then they need to be tested for drugs, including steroids. Well, hold on, Wayne. Steroids not a drug. Is it legal? With a prescription? Well, then it's a drug. So if you're taking steroids without a prescription, then you're doing illegal drugs. That's a controlled substance, and you should go to jail too. I'm just trying to get stronger to protect you, Wayne. Well, then do it with a doctor's note. Otherwise, that's like the same excuse a meth addict would say. I'm just trying to be stronger. We live in such a are we in a 2-class society or a 6-class society? Ugh. Literally, this feels so good. I was just thinking, are you jealous you don't get to do drugs, Wayne? No. I've already smoked my weed and had alcohol problems. I don't need any more problems. Alcohol or weed weed didn't ruin my life, but it did. I didn't have a problem with it, but other people had a problem with it. I remember when I told people at Toastmasters I smoked weed, they were like, it was like I was shooting heroin or something. Oh. I lost a lot of friends over that. And I also made a few friends. They were like, hey, Wayne, let's smoke some joints. It's like, right on. I like being sober. Being awake all the time, your mind is like just always awake. It's always ready to go. Minus nap time. You know what's pretty about this place is the sky is so blue and so clear. It also has rained every day, like a little thunderstorm here and there, and then it's gone. Yeah. I still haven't figured out how I'm going to move up here. How I'm going to move up here on the cheap. How else do you say that? I want to make a move in the most affordable way possible. And I got 3 cars and 2 motorcycles. It's kind of complicated. I do think I'm going to leave this car up here and take an airplane to Vegas or a bus ride to Vegas. I've never ridden Greyhound. I can only imagine how bad it is. It's probably like riding public transportation. I'm a little afraid to fly because of the Boeing DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We don't have to tighten all the bolts. Most of them will hold it. That laissez-faire attitude. I'm so glad I'm not sitting in 117, well, air conditioning. That means my air conditioner would be about 95 degrees right now and 117 outside. It's just not normal. It's really it's a waste of 3 months. I can't do anything for 3 months except complain. Mm-hmm. Well, Donald Trump's sentencing is on July 11th, and you know they're going to sentence him to jail. Yeah. So, oh, I talked to one guy at Walmart today. We got onto politics, and he was furious. He's like, I told him I was leaving. He's moving from California up here. He's like, you leaving California? I'm like, well, I might keep my property, but I'm pretty tired of the communism and the bullshit. And he's like, oh, it's pushed back to the September 18th. Oh, they're doing this just to fuck with him during the election. Yeah, they're going to put him in jail. You can still run for office if you're in jail. It's not a crime. It's not against the law to run for president if you have a felony. The Supreme Court ruled yesterday, put a hamper on presidential immunity. A hamper? A damper? Eugene Debs did it in jail in 1920. I thought the Supreme Court gave more leniency. It gave immunity to presidents during their term. I read today, well, then in that case, Joe Biden could have SEAL Team 6 take out Trump. Something like that was being said. Let's hope not. We need to expect the unexpected. And I actually don't think you'll see Donald Trump alive past November 6th. You might not even see Joe Biden alive. These dudes are, just expect something to happen. Yeah, it absolves Obama, Bush. Who else did you say? Clinton, yeah. Nobody was ever going to prosecute them for the shit they did anyways. It really feels like America is, we're at the end of America. The moral compass, doing the right thing. Maybe I'm living in a fantasy land. Maybe we were never moral. Maybe we never did the right thing. I can tell you one thing. Coming up July 4th, Independence Day, I'm pretty sure we fought the Revolutionary War against the British over a 2% tax on the tea. And now most Americans pay 45% tax, and they're not they're not revolting. Yeah, I heard most empires get 250 years, but we're in the same direction there. We should have the best government in the world because we have advancements in communication. We have advancements in so many areas. And what have we done with our advancements? We've turned the world more corrupt. Instead of more moral, we've become more corrupt. It's like, this is one of Hitler's complaints. He was like, the radio and mass communication, like he was hoping television would bring ubiquitous learning to people, education, and instead, and like the movies and the radio, it brought degeneracy, which is kind of ironic that, like, if you want lots of degeneracy, the Germans are the most, well, some people wouldn't consider it degeneracy, but sexually um, hmm, what's a word to describe it? Sexually explicit, sexually explorative. Um, they have they have brothels in Germany where you can pay for a subscription. I'm doing good. How are you? You can pay for a subscription and like fuck a different woman every day. Something like that. It's pretty weird. Yeah, no, we're just renting it. The what is it? The in Denmark. They have like rest stops by the side of the road. Well, they have sex stops where you park your car in a 3-wall zone. So there's a bunch of hookers, and then you park your car in this stall where you guys can have sex in the car, but nobody's watching you. I don't really see anything wrong with it. It's just really unconventional. People are like, oh yeah, just a little sex, I think they want to destroy people's lives here with mandatory marriage. It'll be fine. You're not going to get divorced. What could go wrong? Even if you got divorced, custody of the kids, a few visits to court, a couple attorneys, custody battle, alimony, child support, wage garnishment. Don't pay your child support, go to jail. It's pretty simple, is it? Pay it back in installments. Have a sex credit card. Buy sex on installments. I was listening to a Jewish guy on one of those radios, like when you're driving middle of nowhere, and I got some kind of talk radio, and it was a guy telling a story about his Jewish father who became a CPA, and his father told him a story about grandpa who used to have a grocery store, and during the Depression a lot of people were poor, so his grandpa gave people credit, let them buy on credit, and everybody had a little book, and they would write in the book how much money they owed the grocery store, except the customer had to keep the book. And guess what happens? Can you guess? Yes, exactly. People would lose their book. So then grandpa would say, okay, well, that's okay. Let's get you a new book. And approximately, how much do you think you owed me? And grandpa knew whatever their answer was, it was always much less than what they really owed him. But grandpa wasn't mad about it because that was grandpa's kind of grift. By giving them credit, they shopped at his store of maybe overpriced goods. So not everybody lost their book, but it kind of created loyalty to his bodega. I thought that was interesting. I only listened to it for like 15 minutes. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good story. The guy was, as Jews do, he was telling the story of how his parents named him. His name was like Steve Jones, and he's like, my parents were gonna call me Abraham Levy, but it sounded too Jewish, and there was a lot of anti-Semitism back then, and my parents wanted me to be safe, so they gave me a Caucasian-sounding name. Like literally, does 20% of every Jewish story have to do about legacy anti-Semitism that doesn't really exist? Maybe I should. I'm a little high on Rockstar right now. Well, at least we're talking about it. There's there's a mental disorder called borderline personality disorder. And borderline personality disorder is described in two ways that I remember: a real or imagined fear of abandonment. Real or imagined. And that's what we have with anti Semitism. People who suffer from anti Semitism is borderline personality disorder, and they have a real fear of anti Semitism or an imagined fear of anti Semitism. They've gone even further to say that if you are the child of a Holocaust survivor, you inherit their pain, and it is no different from actually experiencing the Holocaust. Yes. Well, even non-Jewish people feel the pain of the Holocaust because it's a story that never leaves. We're all suffering. Today I was thinking, the Christians could start their own Holocaust museum because 85 million people died in World War II, 6 million Jews, and 79 million Christians. Like literally, Christians could milk this cow a lot harder than the Jews are. You could start a Christian Holocaust museum in every state. Oh, what are you doing? Going to the Holocaust museum? Yeah, poor Jews. Oh no, this is the Christian Holocaust. 79 million died. What? Yeah, look it up. World War II, 85 million people died. 79 million were Christians. Were they in camps? Well, they didn't have a choice. They were drafted. How is being drafted different from being in a camp? You're a prisoner. You had to fight to the death. What's the difference? The whole thing's a Holocaust. Like literally, that's, as far as I'm concerned, that's true. So you don't really, like how about these guys in Ukraine who are being conscripted? They're sent to the front lines without weapons, and they're only given a weapon when they get there. So they can't even kill their commander. This whole thing of war is just, it's just barbaric. It's actually childish and immature. That's how I feel about it. It's childish and immature. America's like, see that guy across the street? I think he hates me. What are you going to do about it? We're going to bomb him. Really? How? A fuel air bomb. Yeah, a fuel bomb, put it in a truck, drive it over there with a timer. That would be domestic terrorism, right? But when we do it as a nation state, we're just protecting America's interests. Doesn't that sound so much better? It does sound better, but it's still straight up murder. America just murders everybody it doesn't like around the world, and then they murder some of their own people. Like Thomas Massey, one of the only people in the House of Representatives to speak out against AIPAC and Israel. His wife just mysteriously died, and she's kind of young. I don't know if she had the vax or not, but woo, that feels good. Only a half hour. Feels like a whole hour. Are we still charging? Let me check my battery. I was doing some charging. We are charging. Pigeon. One town in Germany is going to get rid of all their pigeons. Don't they know more pigeons will fly in? Yeah, I'm kind of out of the news right now, out of the loop. I went to Harbor Freight this morning and got another tester for my CO2 in the water, and it works like my other one did. I had to test this. I tested a new one, it didn't work, and the third one worked. And I'd show the guy, see? And he's like, oh my God, yeah, these two are defective. So I finally got one that worked. And my car doesn't have a blown head gasket. I also got a 1/4-inch socket set for $20, just in case I need it for when I do my radiator. If I don't need it, I'll probably take it back because I already have all those 1/4-inch sockets, but most of them are at home right now in the desert. I got some needle nose pliers. I got a selfie stick. I got some $1 clothing at Walmart, like some pants, like sweatpants. I got some that are baby blue with some stripes. They're just horrible. They're just the most like ugly thing ever. That's why they were $1. I kind of like ugly clothes for $1. It's kind of like a badge of honor. Wayne, why is that? Why are you wearing something so ugly? It was $1. I got some underwear. It's Hanes underwear. Just briefs, normal, but in like different colors, black, gray, dark green, for $3, marked down. Like the bags are ripped open and they taped them back together, kind of thing. I got 2 more totes because my car was already getting messy with clothing everywhere and a little bit of trash. So I got some totes to keep it tidy in here. Yeah. So many people drive trucks here in Wyoming. Oh, diesel is only $3.25 a gallon. $3.25. It's like $5.40 a gallon in California. Yeah. Well, friends, I'm going to end this broadcast. I'm out of things to say. Thanks for visiting, people. Interdimensional, Bryson's Folly. Who else was here? Oh, we got one more. Oh, we got Not Unknown, Ijax. Okay, well, we almost did 40 minutes. That was nice. If you're ever on a road trip, you got to check out Wyoming. It's super beautiful here. And I haven't checked the price of real estate. It's probably affordable. Yeah. I might do a broadcast tonight. I'm not sure. We'll see how I feel. Oh, and I picked up a fuel filter today from Napa, which Napa's kind of expensive when it comes to auto parts. Oh, and I bought some really small needles for sewing so I can clean my squirters on the windshield. Out of 6 of them, 4 work, but 2 don't work, happen to be on the driver's side. And then you just put a needle in there to clean them. Compressed air is nice once in a while too. Okay, that's it for all my helpful advice. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Follow me on my Twitter, Vote Lambright and Vote Lambright 24. Okay, bye.